Yeah, hello. Yeah, bro. You fine? Yeah, man. I asked him the other day about his jacket, right? You bought one? Yeah, man. Actually, mine's too old. Yeah, I'm gonna throw it anyways. I'll get to it maybe tomorrow morning. Yeah, so. And guess what? I found a stamp. The bonnet, actually. Yeah, the part. Ask those people and they'll say, no, it's not mine. So I guess I'm gonna put the money in my sister's piggy bank. She might use it one day. Yeah. For her education, maybe. Sure, man. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna do that actually. Yeah. Good evening to the secret philosophers, the overthinkers, the broken hearted, and the people pretending to work, but secretly listening to Dictum podcast. You are tuned to the midnight frequencies, the only show brave enough to ask questions the daytime politely over. Tonight's topic is a dangerous one. You know what? If you could ask God one question, what would it be? Because honestly, I've got a whole list, man. Why create 8 billion people and somehow we still manage to feel lonely? Why create religions if people are just going to argue about who owns you? Why create different colors of skin if humans are going to judge based on the planets? And if you're listening tonight, God, quick question. Why keep humans' hearts capable of love, but egos capable of war? Hmm. Anyway, the phone lines are open. If God happens to be awake tonight, feel free to call. Well, that was suspiciously fast.
Hello, caller. You're live.
Hello, this is God.
Of course, it is. Did heaven finally upgrade its phone plan?
Oh, yes. Unlimited calls, no roaming charges.
Alright then, God. Let's start simple. Why are there wars? Seems like a pretty big bug in your system.
I made the earth round. No corners, no borders. Humans drew lines and called them countries. Then they started dying for the ink.
Alright, philosopher God. Then explain racism. Same species, different colors, yet somehow humans made that a problem.
I made sunset in thousands of shades. No one argues about which sunset is superior. Only humans could manage to do that.
Fair enough. Okay, let's talk religion. Thousands of religions, each convinced you're exclusively on their team. Which one got it right?
None of them.
Oh, this should start some riots. Go on.
I never asked for buildings. I never asked for costumes. I never asked for people to shout my name through loudspeakers. All I asked for was kindness. Humans have turned it into an organization.
Alright, I'll admit it, man. You're a pretty good prank caller. Okay, let's raise the stakes. Explain hunger. Lots of supermarkets in this world, and still, children are starving. Why is that so?
The plant grows enough food for everyone. Humans discovered it was easier to store food than to share it. Have you ever shared it?
Okay, moving on. You're saying humans caused all of this?
No, humans forgot what they were capable of.
Alright, new question. Why create human beings at all? You had a whole universe in your hands, right? Stars, galaxies, beautiful rocks floating in space. Then you made us. Why?
Entertainment.
That actually explains a lot, man.
And curiosity. Let me ask you one question. Good deeds out of the empathy and compassion from your heart, or is it out of the fear that I'll punish you if you don't?
Okay, is this a revenge for all the questions I asked God?
I'm simply trying to make you understand that humans were capable of both compassion and kindness.
Okay, if that's true, why does the world still feel so broken?
Because bad news travel faster than good people.
Okay, that's annoyingly true, man. But let me ask the big question. If you're really God, why don't you come down and fix everything?
I tried that quite some time actually.
Okay, what happened?
Humans wrote books about it each time. Then they started arguing about those books.
That is painfully accurate, man. But seriously, who are you? Everyone looks for you in the sky. Where are you actually?
Usually in very ordinary places.
And such as?
In a stranger who helped someone they'll never meet again. In a person who forgives when revenge would be much easier. In someone who shares their food when they barely have enough.
That sounds less like God and more like.
Humanity? Exactly.
Wait,
Are you saying God is human?
No, I'm saying that the most divine thing about humans is their humanity.
alright, God. One final question. Prove you're real.
Hmm. You asked me a question earlier tonight, remember? Why create 8 billion people and somehow we still manage to feel lonely? Why create religions if people are just going to argue about who owns you? Why create different colors of skin if humans will treat it like a ranking system? And if you're listening tonight, God, quick question. Why give humans hearts capable of love, but egos capable of war?
Okay, what's the answer?
You weren't asking me that question. You were asking yourself. Every human who questions injustice, every human who feels disturbed by suffering, every human who wishes the world was kinder is already hearing my voice. Because the voice that tells you something is wrong, the voice that pushes you to care about strangers, that voice is the closest thing to God you will ever hear.
Then what exactly is God?
Someone who chooses love when hatred would be much easier.
Well, I'm not sure if that was God or the most philosophical prank caller in radio history. But whoever you were, thanks for the reminder. Maybe the world isn't waiting for God to appear. It's waiting for humans to remember who they are. And at this, we're coming to the end. Sleep well, guys. This is RJ signing off.